So you have faced a lot of challenges this past month with the weather and
Well, when, like I said, you know, when I found out that that truck had to have all that work, it blew me out of the freaking water. And the reason why, because I knew what time of year it was. For one, it was after Thanksgiving. In fact, it was in December. I knew that the weather was fixing to change. I knew that the holidays were wrapped around in it. And I knew I had all this to deal with, not to mention that I have to fix all this stuff out in the open. And so, and then, I had to go because, they only did so much inspection, and then I have to go through there and find out because I had no idea that that truck was that bad off. And so when I got up into there, I had to literally go through everything to figure out just exactly what needs to be worked on. I don't need to have to go through this again. And so it's time for me to get to know this truck. And so I'm going through every freaking thing. What is this? What is that? And how come this is like this? Does this need to be replaced? Is this going to have to be replaced? If I fix this, do I need to fix that? And I have to look at everything at this point because the truck isn't as good a shape as that I was hoping it would be in. And so therefore, I that was the first thing I had to do was figure out just exactly what needs to be replaced. And once I figured all that out, then I had to get the parts and I had to chase down the parts. And then we're dealing with the holidays and so on and so on. And now, as soon as the holidays is over with, we had warm weather during the holidays, but I didn't have parts. But as soon as I got the parts, then all of a sudden the warm weather went away and all the freezing weather came. And so, I done forgot what the question was. But yeah, it's been pretty hectic. And that's why I knew when I found out about this truck having to need all this work, I was just like blown out of the water because I knew what time of year. And, if this was in summertime, it would have still been a lot of work. But I could get out there and I could work night and day, But when it's like this, I can only go out there and get a few hours worth of work in a day, because my body can only handle so much of that cold before I end up getting severely sick or getting carbon dioxide poisoning. And so, yeah, it's a lot to deal with, and I just have to deal with it carefully. I can't, I can't just push myself to the point that where then I'm in the hospital, and then what good is that going to do me? So, I have to be smart about what I'm doing, and I'm just going to have to take it one step at a time and take it all apart, and which I've already got it all apart. But now I got to piece it all back together. So, it started off from the day that I found out about it, that I knew that I had my hands full and that I had to borrow the money to get us through this time, because it was not just going to, it's a whole lot different when I drive it into a shop and I'm sitting on dry concrete. And I can just go out there and work night and day nonstop. That's not my conditions. This is my conditions right here. And when it's not doing this, it's 6 degrees in the wind. This is probably the warmest day we've had in a while. But with the warmth that we get piles of snow. And everybody knows about snow, even though it's not as cold as a cold day. But if you get wet, then that wet gets in there, it's all over with, then it gets cold. So you're all right in the snow, just don't get wet.